have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Oh, shit.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the best place that you could be in the entire world right at this moment, the VHS DOOM Podcast and rental store. Mikey didn't hear that. How's it going, buddy?
Wait, what did you just say?
What?
That's it. I didn't hear it, so I don't know. I'm good.
Yeah. You're good? That's good, man. That's good.
I was just fucking around.
What another wonderful week to be here in the store. We're just getting set up and opening up here, so you guys are going to have to wait a second. But, welcome to the store. We appreciate you guys coming back. If you listened last week, you heard it was our 20th episode. So, hey, let me get a little, what is this? No, wrong one. Wait, it's this one. Yeah, 20th episode. That's what I'm talking about. We did it, buddy. So this week we're on to 21, so stop cheering. Get over it. This is season 2. Technically it's season 2, episode 1. I don't know why, that's arbitrary, but I figured I'd change it, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, why not? So we actually did a new logo for the Toxic Avenger, the Trauma episode.
Should we do it for season 2?
Yeah, in season 1. So if you guys like that, maybe Mikey, you could put up a poll on Twitter and see like which logo they want. I don't know.
And can I put 2 pictures and a poll on the same thing?
I don't know. It's worth a shot.
I've done it before, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we can give it a shot. So, yeah, maybe we'll update the logo for season 2. Maybe I'll update the intro music. Not for this episode, but maybe next episode. I don't fucking know. We could do whatever we want. It's our store. Yeah, I mean, if you guys paid attention through all of last season, not only did we go from employees to owners, our old manager literally lives in the broom closet, and he's a deadite. And he's just never gone back to being okay. Jesus Christ, Hugh. Oh, huge anus, everybody. Huge anus. A huge anus in the house. Yeah.
My dad back in the closet.
What?
I gotta put my dad back in the closet.
Oh, your dad?
You see my name this week?
Oh, Rick Moranis. So, for those of you who may be new, Mikey every single week has a really good name that he types into our little recording app, and I here and there, I'll call him out by it. But this week, his name is Rick Moranis, son of Hugh Janus. I don't know. The movie I watched this week is like burned into my brain so hard. Like,
I have one of those.
That I just couldn't think of anything, so I made my name Santa Bobolini. So I'm Santa Bobolini.
I should have been Ricky Salo.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, we're really glad you guys keep coming back. We are literally 4 listens away from 400 total listens to our podcast. So just
that is so awesome. Thank you guys so much. Big thank you to you guys for sticking with us and listening in. I double checked as of today, our highest listened episode. God damn it. What was that? Red Bull's sugar free.
Red Bull, you're drinking Bull cum today?
I sent you a picture of when I went to Costco and I got the case.
He got a case of Bull cum, y'all. Let's give him a hand. Let's give him a hand. Drink it down. I should not have this power. I listened to the Dabba Dub episode, and when Jimmy had his like doo 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 like sound effect going on over and over and over, I was like, oh, I don't need that power either. But now that I figured out the soundboard, I have way too much power. So I'm going to close it, and I'm not going to do any more sounds. So let me just.
What did you think of the Florida Man episode?
Bro, it was fun. That was really good.
We found like a whole like episode in there too.
Jeez, it's like Inception. It's like an episode within an episode. You know?
Yeah, we found like a whole case. Like just looking over Florida Man, like weird, funny things.
Yeah, I feel like from Florida you can find a lot of stuff, but you guys found some interesting things. Actually, you know what I just heard about, and I might cut this out of our podcast, but this is because Mikey and I are friends. We talk about stuff that aren't movies as well.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, here and there.
Mike's not insanely texting you.
Bro, I heard a true crime case out of England. They just convicted their it was like the highest number of children killed. It was a baby killer. She was a nurse.
Oh, I heard about it. Yeah.
I can't remember her
name. Like Daily Mail was trying to like make it off like she didn't do it because she found she was like not guilty or something.
Well, no, yes. So she's guilty, and she has like 7 or 8 life sentences now.
Oh, I heard that she got out.
Oh, no. I saw that article today that she has like 8
idiots
life
on Twitter.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to look. Yeah, this is not a true crime show, so I mean, whatever. You guys look into it. I just read about it, and I was like, that's something I might hear about on the Dab of Death.
I did message him saying maybe we can do that.
Yeah, that was some fucked up stuff right there. But anyway. All right, well, let's finish this welcome. So, yeah, thanks, everybody, for coming back, listening to our bullshit, hanging out with us every week. Really, it's just us two friends hanging out in our VHS rental store, maybe one day, talking about movies, having a good time, hanging out with Deadites and Scabby Man and all kinds of scary demons. If you like the show and you enjoy what you hear every week, please go ahead and give us a like, follow, subscribe, wherever you're listening to us, whether that's Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Hit the little subscribe button, then you'll get the notifications when the episodes come out. FYI, I mentioned this last week, but if you subscribe, you'll realize that the episodes don't come out on Saturdays. They come out on Friday nights. Early release, motherfuckers. So if you want to see the midnight show, subscribe. Also, share this with your friends. If you have friends who are into movies and you think that they'd enjoy it, share the show. We appreciate you guys doing that. Again, thanks for 400 listens. The Faces of Death Cannibal Holocaust episode is by far our top listened episode with over 40 listens just on that episode. So thank you guys.
I think it's not. You asked me last episode. I was like kind of like I didn't like have a list of like favorite episodes, but that's one of my favorite ones.
Oh, for sure.
That one, the Romero one. I can't believe Romero was like the 3rd episode.
I know, and Romero's number 2 on the list. It's those two. They're always kind of like competing for highest listened episode. But
my 2 favorites.
Yeah, Faces is kind of So I actually put out like some TikTok Faces of Death Cannibal Holocaust like promo stuff. So it probably is going to stay ahead of Romero, but maybe I'll go in and see if I can get some clips out of Romero. But Romero was so long ago, I don't even know if I'll be able to get clips from it. So, bro, we've been doing this.
When we were like, we were on my phone. I was using my phone.
Isn't that wild? We've been doing this for almost, like 5 months? Is that right?
Is it really? 12, 16, April?
20? Yeah. 5-6 months. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, and then the very first time I had you on the Doombox podcast, that was forever ago. So we've been working this up for a while.
That was like the end of March.
Yeah. Actually, did you just see so my first Doombox episode was on Super Mario. The voice for 30 years of Super Mario.
Oh yeah, I sent you that.
Yeah, you sent me that link. He just retired. So
I thought he got fired. Everyone kept saying in the tweets that he got fired.
I mean, shoot, if you've been doing a job for 30 years, you're probably ready to retire, right? I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, Twitter makes everything out to be like the murderer didn't go to prison. Like, oh, he got fired.
You know what I've been seeing from like the wrestling community? People taking like things that happen like in companies like to heart and acting like it's like real things.
Oh my God. Yeah. The internet's
like putting their trauma with it, and it's just like, what are you doing?
Right.
It's scary.
Absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna say he didn't get fired because it looks like he's still working with Charles. I'm sorry, Nintendo is still working with Charles on like outreach events, so he's still gonna pop up here and there, and I don't think that they would have done that if he had like bad blood. I think his voice is probably just getting old, if I had to guess. So Charles Martinet, thank you for voicing Mario. I'm not going to do another Doombox podcast for a while, so I'll say thanks here. And go check out the Doombox podcast, too, if you want. But anyway.
Really good episodes.
Yeah. It's only like 4 of them, but they're pretty fun. So maybe I'll do another one of those again someday. It's just, I have to write such a big script for those episodes. It's harder to, there's not much banter, so it's all me, And then, there's Balthazar, but, he's not super helpful. So anyway.
He only possesses you, so you can't really do anything else.
Right, exactly. Anyway, last thing before we kind of get into what we've been doing this week, go check out our merch store. So VHSDoom.com, scroll all the way to the bottom. You'll see the very last page is about our merch store. You'll see a couple shirts that we've designed on there. Before this little shirt right here, if you're watching on YouTube, the staff shirt was the only thing that we had available, but Mikey and I are trying to consistently work on some more designs. All sales, so we're partnered with that a website called dorktees.com. All sales of our merchandise, 100% of the profits go to getting Mikey a Mikey. Because
I think probably just like a webcam at this point.
Yeah, maybe just a webcam, just so we can see him. Because I'm tired of not seeing his suspenders and his shorts and his clown shoes. And
I'm going to have to buy all these clothes.
His big red nose and his purple chest hair. And
why would I wear? Wait.
His constant drooling.
Sleeves.
What?
I have purple sleeves. Why would I have purple chest hair?
Because you don't have the rest of your shirt, so it needs to match.
So I spray painted.
So you spray paint your chest.
Is that why our logo is purple?
Yeah, exactly. To match Mikey's sleeves and chest hair. I assume your eyebrows are also purple, but I don't know.
Nah, they're like a hot pink.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool.
And I got long blue fingernails.
Oh, do they curl around?
That was after I became. No, that was after I became a vampire.
Oh. Okay, so
I can hop now.
You're a clown pyre, like a vampire
no, I can
clown.
Hop. I hop like a vampire.
Killer vampire clowns from outer space.
I'm not an alien.
I don't know. Apparently, Chris Brown's an alien. Have you seen that interview?
No.
Yeah, Chris Brown was on some show, and he's like, "I'm an alien," and they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not from Earth. I'm an alien." And now after all this shit from the government, I'm like, maybe Chris Brown's an alien. Maybe after the whole shit with Rihanna, they were like,
he was replaced.
We're gonna replace you because you can't be famous and be such a dick. I don't know. Never mind. That's all stupid. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So how's your week going, bud?
It's been okay.
Yeah.
Just some family stuff going on. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Everything just I feel like when you get older, everything just speeds up on you.
It does. It really does.
So
yeah.
It's we went to, it was Saturday. We went on Saturday to a farm. Sammy saw some animals.
Nice.
We also went to the park that day. That was pretty much it. Watched a bunch of movies. Got a couple movies in the mail from Diabolic.
Diabolic. Hashtag Diabolic DVD. Shouting you out because we love you.
You want me to tell the listeners what we got?
Yeah. What's your haul?
All right. So Ace High. That's one of the movies I watched this week. From '68. It's a fun Western, I think, with Eli Wallach and Terrence Hill. Okay. It's directed by Giuseppe Colizzi. Next one, it's technically a Django film, but it's only because it's a spaghetti western starring Franco Nero. It's Man, Pride, and Vengeance.
Okay.
The other title is With Django Comes Death. This is from 1967.
Okay, cool.
Next one. This one I wish I had my camera so I could show it. I got this really cool Blu-ray from Indicator. It's the Western of the Big Gun Down.
Mm-hmm.
It has a book in it. It has a poster. This is amazing. I haven't watched it yet because I've been watching some other stuff. But yeah, it's a new 2K restoration. Well, it's not new. It's been a couple for. Let's see. Oh no, it came out this year.
Okay.
So it's a new 2K restoration. Different versions of the movie, a lot of other features and trailers and stuff. Then the other one was The Good and Bad and the Ugly, one of the best westerns, if not the best western ever.
Yep. Okay.
And then I got I ordered this. I pre-ordered this a while ago. The Sensual World of Black Emmanuel. Mm-hmm. They're sexploitation movies from Italy from like from the 70s.
Okay.
There's about 24 movies in this set. It's 15 discs, 2 soundtracks, and it says 40 plus hours of special features.
Wow.
And 356 page book.
Oh my God. All on sexploitation?
No, just this one franchise in sexploitation.
One franchise. Holy shit.
Yeah, the Emmanuel franchise had a lot of sequels.
Yeah.
Severin Films put this one out.
Okay.
It was pretty expensive, honestly.
Yeah, well, you're gonna rot your brain, so have fun with that. But not more than you watching some other movie I heard you watch this week.
Oh, okay. So you want me to go into what I watched?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I guess we'll start off with the worst. Well, not worst.
Yeah.
The most extreme one I've seen.
Uh-huh.
All right. I watched Salo, or the 120 Days of Sodom.
Yeah.
It is from 1975 and is directed by Pier Paolo Pasolini.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In World War II Italy, 4 fascist libertines round up 9 adolescent boys and girls, and subject them to 121 days of physical, mental, and sexual torture.
God Almighty. Mm-hmm. Yep.
One of the writers directed one of my favorite gialli.
Oh yeah.
House of the Laughing Windows. You're gonna laugh at his name though. It's Pupi Aveti. P-U-P-I.
Poopy. Hey, Poopy, Santa Poopy Aveti.
Okay, now we're gonna get off Salo because just reading.
Well, hold on. I'll just say that Mikey texted. So
I knew he's gonna do this.
My friends here, Mikey and my other friend Romit, we have a group chat, and Mikey sent it to us, and Romit's response was just, "Why?"
And I gave a detailed explanation of what Pasolini meant by this movie.
Right, and then we both said, "Yeah, but why, though?"
It's been a long time, and I was watching I guess we'll go into that one. I was watching a Nazi exploitation documentary.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I mean, this is not nice. I mean, it takes place around the same time in Italy, so I kind of like thought it was going to be the same kind of feel.
Sure. Okay.
So I watched this first on Saturday. It was Fascism on Thread: the Strange Story of Nazi Exploitation Cinema.
Mm-hmm.
It's from 2019. It is directed by Naomi Hallwell, and it's really good. It goes over the history of the movies. It talks about the movies. It shows them. Has like directors and like different like critics. I guess critics. Yeah, critics. Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay.
If you like stuff like Inglourious Basterds and you haven't really dug deep into like Nazi exploitation, that's a good place to start. I feel like.
Okay. Yeah.
Next, this is a really fun one. I just watched this before the show. It's like my second time watch, but it's been years. 1985's Mr. Vampire.
Nice. Okay.
So this is a Chinese vampire film from the 80s. It's really good. It's made by Golden Harvest. They made a lot of good movies.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I'm going to read the plot. The planned reburial of a town elder goes awry as a corpse resurrects into a hopping, bloodthirsty vampire, targeting anybody responsible for digging the grave. A Taoist priest and his 2 disciples attempt to stop the terror. There's a lot of comedy in it, too. It's really good. And then I watched Ace High, the Western we just talked about before.
Right, yeah. Okay. Awesome.
And I think that was it, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's awesome.
What'd you watch?
It sounds like you had a great haul and a great set of movies that you watched. So I'm actually,
and I did watch the Nightmare on Elm Street because we're doing that today.
Oh, of course, yeah, sure. I mean, you got to do the rewatch, right? But yeah. So for me, this weekend and this like past week have been like insanely busy. We just had like my mom was in town and then she left, and then a couple days after that. Our friends from some friends from New Jersey that Carla went to college with came down and spent like Thursday through the weekend with us. So we were just going and going and going. We went to the pool. We were just hanging out with them. We were hanging out at our other friend's house who they all went to college together because there's another person who lives in Richmond that Carla went to college with. So we were just all over the place. We all have kids under 2, so that was like an adventure in itself.
I know, that's fun.
Yeah, and they're all kind of...
He's almost a three-nager.
Right? Yeah, they're all on different nap schedules pretty much. So like,
oh god.
I feel like, Sammy and Ari are on the same kind of nap schedule. That one afternoon nap. They're in that age range.
Yeah.
But then the other kids that are like a little younger that were here, they were, 2 naps, or one was like 3 naps, and like...
I remember that.
Yeah, it was just all over the place. So we had fun, but we were super busy, and it was like kid-centric, right? So I didn't have a ton of time. That being said, I didn't have a ton of time to watch a bunch of films. So I was like, let me see what I can watch that will make Mikey go like, okay, yeah, let me know what you think. So I found a film.
And he went for it, too.
I went for it. What I watched this week was, I hope I say this right, Santa Sangre. Sangre?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you said it right.
Yes, by Alejandro, I don't know if I'm going to say this right.
Jodorowsky.
Alejandro Jodorowsky. It's from 1989. If you haven't seen Santa Sangre, you need to. It was wild, man. I was not expecting it. It felt all over the place. I saw like so many influences, and then maybe it influenced other films. Like I just saw.
You know who helped write it? Claudio Argento.
Really? Oh yeah, you know
Dario's brother.
Yeah, and Roberto Leone. Yeah. So I definitely felt the Italian influences in the shooting and the cinematography, especially in the beginning. It very much looked like that like Italian, almost gialli kind of feel,
like dreamlike kind of feel. Yeah,
dreamlike, right? Kind of like hazy. But there were so many elements that were so out of left field, and then. I actually kind of feel like I see, I don't know, have you ever watched Kung Fu Hustle? Bro, so...
Oh, yeah, I have that.
All right, so in Kung Fu Hustle, I know this is going to sound stupid that I'm relating these two movies, but in Santa Sangre, when they're downtown, first of all, wild in this movie, they literally give like 3 people with Down syndrome cocaine, and... pass them off to like a hooker. But anyway, that whole scene where like they're downtown in like a crime-ridden area, but everybody's dancing, very much kind of reminded me of Kung Fu Hustle. Anyway, it was all over the place. Even to the point of why is there a tree in a mental patient's hospital and he sleeps in a basket like he's an orangutan? Like there's a lot I didn't understand, but I had a lot of fun watching it, at least. Also, I don't know. If you want to be royally just weirded out, go check out Santa Sangre. I feel like it could have had its own episode in this show. You know what I mean?
It should.
Yeah.
I think it should.
Maybe we should at some point. Yeah.
The composer for that also did a lot of like my favorites.
Oh yeah,
like Stage Fright, Demons 2.
Okay.
Lord of Illusion, if you remember that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hardware. Yeah.
Wild, man. Yeah. So that's kind of all I watch. Outside of, you know what else I watched? And this was because I was with friends who like really aren't into horror. I told them about the podcast, but one of them, my friend Joe, he was like, if I listened to horror, I'd probably like that. And I'm like, yeah, or listen to. If I watched horror, I'd probably like that. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you might like it anyway. Check it out. But we watched the Tom Segura Sledgehammer special on Netflix. That was actually really funny. If you're into stand-up, Tom Segura is fucking hilarious. So that was fun. And then with the family, Carla and her mom, we've been watching Good Omens too. So that's been really good. But movies,
I still need to see the show. I have the book. I really like Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman's super solid. He's so Good Omens 1, like if you've read Good Omens, holy shit. Ugh.
It's been a while though.
Yeah, it's a wild book, but he stuck to the book because Terry Pratchett passed away. I think he had cancer and he died. So Neil Gaiman and Terry wrote the book together, and they were working on the show concept together, and then Terry passed away. So Neil was very, very like strict and staunch on using the material that he and Terry made together. So the show does not deviate, season 1, from the book like whatsoever. It's really, really
good.
Seems
like a nice guy. I always see him on Blue Sky.
Yeah, he seems really cool. I'm glad he's on Blue Sky. Maybe he's going to leave Twitter or X.
I think he is gone from Twitter.
Is he? Good. Yeah, it's a fucking...
I think he's like one of the celebrities that left.
Fucking shit show over there. So, anyway.
Blue Sky needs more people.
yeah. You gave me a code. I need to get on there, actually. So, I'll be on soon.
About to give it to somebody else.
Don't give it away. I'm going to use it, and then I'll get more codes, and I'll give them to you. I'll probably do that.
What am I going to do with it?
But I don't know. Give it to some of our friends over on Twitter. I'm still going to call it Twitter. It's not X. Fuck X. I don't know. Anyway. All right. Well, that's what we watch. That's what we've been up to. We're at about half an hour, so we are getting pretty good on our time in here, buddy. So I guess, is there anything else you want to mention, talk about before we move on into our feature?
So I've been playing the new Texas Chainsaw game.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fun, yeah. If you've seen what the Friday the 13th one was, did you see the game?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you play either the killers or the survivors.
Yep.
Or victims.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to like kill them all throughout the house or the property to so they don't escape.
Right, yeah.
And if you feed Grandpa blood, he'll be able to sense out where they are in the house.
Oh, okay. Because you sent me a little screen grab of that. You playing it? And I saw Grandpa in there, and I didn't know what that was referencing because it was like right at the end of.
Yeah, so like every time you execute, I think most of the time I've only played it maybe 4 or 5 times. Mm-hmm. That's how I had like those 4 clips. That's from like each game I only got 1 kill.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
But if you give him blood, he'll wake up and he'll be able to like sense where people are. If you execute them, I think he does that thing I sent you in the video. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've only played as Leatherface and the Hitchhiker so far.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
It's fun.
Yeah, that looked really fun. So go check it out.
If you have Xbox, it's or Game Pass for PC, it's free.
Nice. All right. Cool, man. Is it a pretty kind of like short, condensed game? Like I assume it's like just one objective, or
yeah, pretty much. Just so they don't escape, or you kill them. Pretty much.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
They could get drawn out if they hide, but
okay. I've
been able to find people.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah. Well, that's all I got. So I guess let's check in last week's movies, guys. You can go ahead and step up to the counter. We're open now. So last week we sent you home with a haul of a ton of fun stuff. You went home with Surf Nazis Must Die from 1987. Fuck yeah. What a movie. Hope you enjoyed that. Decapitated from 1998. Both of those.
That name, it gets me every time.
I know, right? Both of those came from the Troma Now app. If you have not checked out the Troma Now app, we are not sponsored by Troma Now. I don't give a shit.
We wish we were.
Go check out the Troma Now app. It's $4.99 a month. You get 30 days free when you sign up. Go check it out. So much fun stuff on the Troma Now app. Just throwing that out there. We sent you home with the Gorgor Girls from 1972, as well as 2000 Maniacs from 1964 as a double feature for you. We sent you home with After Hours from 1985, Martin Scorsese classic, and my brother-in-law's one of his favorite movies.
I think it's one of my favorites now after seeing it, honestly.
Yeah, it's fun. And then lastly, for the kids, we hope you guys all enjoyed this as a family. We sent you home with 1990s Ninja Turtles. Mikey, how does everything look today?
The Ninja Turtles is covered in slime, but I think that would be okay, right?
What do you mean slime?
It's like a green, thick slime.
Green, thick slime? Like mucusy?
And it tastes like candy.
Why did you fucking taste it?
Scabby Man dared me.
What? No, Mikey. Jesus. Hey, Scab. What's up, buddy?
I'm not Scabby, no. I'm infected here.
What? Who are you?
I'm Mikey and I'm stuck here.
You're Mikey and you're stuck? What are you stuck in? The fucking goo? Holy shit.
I am the girl now.
I don't really know. I'm just going to get the fire extinguisher. Did that help?
Hey, Dylan, my arm is on across the room.
Oh. Well, that's okay. We'll sew that back on. Let me go get it.
Yeah, it became me for a second, and
Huh.
I was asking for help, but you couldn't help me for some reason.
Well, I think the fire extinguisher helped. I sprayed you with that. I think that might have brought you.
I'm missing my arm and like my face is gone.
Yeah, I might have hit you with the fire extinguisher too.
But why is there like green like stuff melted into my eyes?
I don't know. The fire extinguisher might be expired.
Wait, was I checking the movies?
Yeah, you were before, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Everything looks fine except for... Wait.
No, do not touch that one. Don't fucking touch that one. Oh, God damn it. It's like I'm in fucking Groundhog Day. All right, grab the fire extinguisher. All right, you all right there?
Okay, that worked.
Okay, good. I think I got your arm here.
That's not my arm.
What is this?
My arm's right here.
Oh, this is... Man, somebody had a real big Johnson, because this must have came from the penis pile.
That's your arm.
Oh, shit, my arm fell off. Huh. This is a weird fucking episode. Anyway.
It's all dreamlike, right?
Yeah. You guys really stop fucking around with our fucking VHS tapes. Holy shit, guys. God damn. Maybe we'll see a visit from Mr. Kruger later. I don't know. I'm feeling weird right now. I feel like I hear things scraping against the wall. Cool. All right, guys.
We can move on from this segment.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on. We're alive. We're missing a couple limbs, but I can use my arm to beat off any of you who try to fuck with me again. So
why do you want to beat people off? I'm
gonna beat you off. I'm gonna beat you off. I'm gonna beat you off if you're not careful. Holy shit. All right, everybody. Well, we're so glad that you came back and you returned everything in relatively good order, except that weird, like, alternate dimensional VHS goo.
Dylan, don't touch it. No.
I'm not fucking touching it. You are like holding your finger over it and saying, "Don't touch it, Dylan." So that's not me.
I was showing you what not to touch.
Oh, okay, thanks. I'm going to continue with the show, though, and put that in the fucking radioactive bin that we have behind the store. If you didn't know, we deal with so much bullshit here. We do have to have, by governmental requirement, a radioactive bin to dispose of stuff in the back. So, wild shit.
It's next to our bin of penisless critics.
Yes, penisless critics. The critics' penises for Hugh Janus to ingest.
Every time.
If you're a critic, keep your wits about you, because Hugh Janus might swallow you up. Okay, moving on. So, thank you for returning everything. Thank you for rewinding it, I think. Mikey didn't say, but I'm pretty sure you did. But today, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into a classic icon of the slasher genre, the Wes Craven original Nightmare on Elm Street. So, hope you guys are excited for that this week. Go ahead and step on up really, really close, and we are going to go to sleep together. This week, we're not pressing play. This week, we are going to hypnotize one another into a trance. We're going to fall into a deep, deep sleep, and we're going to wake up in another dimension where your life is on the line. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
What did I just come back to?
Go to sleep.
The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
There's something out there, isn't there?
You could just see cuts happening.
What did that, Lieutenant?
I don't know.
Tina! What's the coroner got to say? He's in the jar and puking since he saw it.
They're gonna kill me for sure.
Did you do it?
There was somebody else there.
He was locked in a room with a girl who went in alive and came out in a rubber bag.
No one knows where it came from or who it will visit next.
Nancy? There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Do you believe in the boogeyman?
No.
Whatever you do, Don't fall asleep.
All right, let's fucking get it. Oh, yeah, he really went to sleep. Okay, that's fine. All right, so as we always do this week, well, actually, I mean, things are a little bit different. We woke up in an alternate dimension. This dimension is quite dangerous, for there is a man with fingers of steel planning to slit your throat and possibly disembowel you. So keep your wits about you, but we're going to go ahead, as we always do in our regular dimension, and we're going to jump into the back of the box. So let's read that. All right, so A Nightmare on Elm Street is a 1984 American supernatural slasher film written and directed by Wes Craven and produced by Robert Shea. Robert Kenneth Shea would go on to found New Line Cinema, which distributed Nightmare on Elm Street.
The house that Freddy built.
Right, exactly, as well as many other, including Lord of the Rings. It's the first installment in A Nightmare on Elm Street, the franchise, and stars Heather Langenkamp, John Saxon, Ronnie Blakely, Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, and it was Johnny Depp's film debut, his very first appearance in film. The film's plot concerns a group of teenagers who are targeted by Krueger, who is an undead former child killer who can murder people through their dreams as retribution against their parents who burned him alive. Holy shit. Ooh. Them Dr. Peppers. They exist in this dimension as well. But they're a little spicier. Nightmare on Elm Street on an estimated budget of $1.1 million. The film was released on November 9th, 1984, and grossed $57 fucking million worldwide. Talk about a success. The film received critical acclaim upon its release and has since been considered one of the greatest horror films ever made. The movie spawned a franchise consisting of 6 sequels, a television series, a crossover with Friday the 13th, various other merchandise, and a remake of the same name.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, it's garbage. It's trash. Michael Bay's trash.
Good actor playing Freddy, just horrible movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I actually loved him in Watchmen. Did you like Watchmen?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, I love him. And he's the best part.
Yeah, he was super
Rorschach,
solid.
Yeah,
Rorschach. Anyway.
Jack Haley, I think his name is?
Jackie Earl Haley.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really good actor. I like him in everything.
Great character actor.
Yeah, I've seen him in. Okay, so aside from Stunts, Polyester, and Alone in the Dark, it was one of the first films produced by New Line Cinema, who at that point mostly distributed films leading...
Wait, they put out Alone in the Dark? I'm sorry.
Huh?
Like the slasher movie Alone in the Dark?
Yeah, they put out Alone in the Dark.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. I have a T-shirt from that.
1982. That was written and directed by
Martin
Jack
Landau.
Schaefer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he directed one of the sequels of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. So they, at that point, mostly distributed films, leading the company to become a successful mini-major film studio after that. And as Mikey said earlier, it earned the nickname The House That Freddy Built. This film is credited with using many of the tropes found in low-budget horror films of the 70s and 80s that originated with the John Carpenter-directed Halloween, as we talked about way back in our slasher episode in episode 2, I believe.
That was 2?
That was
oh my
2.
God.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. The film includes a morality play where sexually promiscuous teenagers are killed. Critics and film historians state that the film's premise is the struggle to define the distinction between dreams and reality, manifested by the lives and dreams of the teens in the film. Later critics praised the film's ability to transgress the boundaries between the imaginary and real, toying with audience perceptions. The film was followed by A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge in 1985. In 2021, nice. In 2021, A Nightmare on Elm Street was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, which puts it beside, I don't know what other horror films are on that list.
Night of the Living Dead is on that list.
But Night of the Living Dead is on that list, as well as, I think it was Last Man on Earth.
Yeah, it's Last Man on Earth.
Right? I think so. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's back of the box. So a couple things we're going to dive into before we dive into like the production notes of this film. I don't know, just keeping it, up front with you guys. I don't know that we're going to have time to dive into the actual plot of the film because there's so many production notes and there's so much background on A Nightmare on Elm Street because it's one of the biggest films in the genre ever. But we're going to kind of jump around. We're going to talk about a little bit about the franchise itself. We're going to talk about Wes Craven, and then we're going to talk about a few other things before we move into production notes. So the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise that was spurred from the original Wes Craven, A Nightmare on Elm Street, consists of 9 films in total, a television series, novels, comic books, and various other media. It did begin in 1984 with that first film. The overall plot of the franchise centers around Freddy Krueger, as we all know, and that all takes place in Springwood, Ohio. Craven returned to the franchise to co-script the second sequel, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, in 1987, and then he wrote and directed New Nightmare in 1994. The films collectively have grossed $472 million at the box office worldwide. So super, super successful movie and super successful franchise.
New Nightmare is really good.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So just to list out what the franchise films are, so you have A Nightmare on Elm Street original, you have A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, and then you have 3 Dream Warriors. 4 is The Dream Master. 5 is The Dream Child. And then you have Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, that came out in 91.
That's the worst one.
What's that?
It's so bad.
Yeah.
I hate that movie with a passion.
Yeah, that was directed by Rachel Talalay. Is that right? Talalay?
I think that is. That's how I used to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Oh, I put a thing in show chat if you want to check it.
When did you first watch Nose? Probably...
Nightmare on Elm Street.
yeah, you're fine. Probably... when I was 14 or something.
I was going to say, that's like around the same time I saw it. My friend showed me it. He came over to my house. He brought that. And I think it was like Friday the 13th Part 3 because I already saw the first 2.
Yeah, so the first time I ever saw this was at a friend's birthday party sleepover when I was like 13 or 14. So we had spent the whole day like hanging out at his house, jumping on his trampoline, swimming in his pool, all the friends were over. And we watched out in like the living room with his parents. His parents let us watch like the original Jackass movie, which is so fun. But then that night we're all like hanging out in his room and we watch Night of the Living Dead and we watch Nightmare on Elm Street. I remember those. So that was a really cool night. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, just a few more notes on the series. So you also have Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which we talked about. Then that was 94. And then there were no new Nightmare films until 2003 when Freddy versus Jason came out. And then lastly, you have A Nightmare on Elm Street from 2010, which was a Michael Bay garbage film. So anyway, that's the franchise. Just a couple notes on that. Now let's jump into a little bit about one of the best directors to have ever lived, in my opinion, Wes Craven.
Exactly.
So Wesley Earl Craven was born on August the 2nd, 1939, and he did pass away on August the 30th of 2015. He was an American film director, screenwriter, producer, actor, and editor. He's commonly been recognized as one of the greatest masters of horror due to the cultural impact and influence of his work. Amongst his prolific filmography, Craven was best known for his pioneering work in the horror genre, particularly slasher films, where he mixed horror cliches with humor and satire. As we've already said a bunch, Craven created the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. He additionally directed the first 4 films of the Scream franchise from 96 to 2011. He also directed the cult classics, The Last House on the Left from 1972, which we have reviewed on this show, but it was we sent you home with it one episode. It was actually during our double feature of Cannibal Holocaust and Faces of Death. That was the third movie that you could have chose from in that poll, and you couldn't pick between 2, so we did a double feature. That one lost, unfortunately. Also, he did The Hills Have Eyes in 1977, and he made the horror comedy The People Under the Stairs in 91.
So that's a really good movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like it needs more love, that one.
I think it does. I think you're right. Maybe we should cover that one.
And have you ever seen Shocker?
I have not.
Oh, it's a hilarious slasher. The guy gets put to death and in an electric chair, and all of a sudden he gets sucked up into the electricity and get killed from coming out of the TV.
Honestly, the cover kind of looks like an Ernest cover, like Ernest goes to prison. Anyway.
You know what's funny? When I was a kid, I hated those movies.
Bro, yeah, I thought they were so dumb too. But I mean, whatever.
Great actor though.
Yeah, for sure. And if you love him, good on you. We're not critics, or else our penises would be in the penis bin for the critics of penises. Just keeping my explicit rating, guys.
I do have a funny fact. Fulci said once he made Cat in the Brain so Wes Craven could make New Nightmare.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's high opinion of oneself, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not going to say he's wrong because he's pretty great, too. So, all right. Craven received several accolades across his career, which includes a Scream Award, a Sitges?
Styges.
It's S-I-T.
Yeah, it's Styges.
Stitches.
How am I saying it?
You're saying stitches. That would be
Stitches.
That would be STI. STI. Oh my God. Does that smell like vomit? It sounded like it smells like vomit.
No, it smells like Chinese food.
Does it smell like bull cum? Oh, Chinese food. You're eating Chinese food and bull cum? That's a really weird combination.
No, I had lunch before the show.
Oh, nice. Yeah, me too. I had pizza and
cool.
Dr. Pepper.
No cum on your pizza?
No cum this time. Okay, so he also won a Fangoria Chainsaw Award.
Because there's other times.
And nominations for a Saturn Award and several other film festivals. In 1995, he was honored by the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films with the Life Career Award for his accomplishments in the horror genre. In 2012, the New York City Horror Film Festival awarded Craven the Lifetime Achievement Award. Unfortunately, as we said, he did pass away on August the 30th of 2015 at 76 years old. He died of a brain tumor in his home in Los Angeles.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it is very, very sad. It's kind of a young death, really, in the grand scheme of how long someone can live and continue to work in film. So
I will say, every decade he's worked, he changed the genre completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like slashers, and then the newer slashers that came after Scream.
Mm-hmm.
Like Scream, made all I Know What You Did Last Summer, or that kind of stuff,
yeah.
And Last House on the Left, and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he did a lot. So we're not going to get too far into his biography because I really would like to do an episode on him in the future. So if we dive too deep, I'm going to ruin all of our content. So we'll stay out of the rest of his life.
I will stop.
Yeah, that is Wes Craven. Rest in peace. What a cool dude. So, all right. Now, moving on, just some real high-level notes before we jump into production notes. The cinematography in this movie was by Jacques Heitken, and the music was by Charles Bernstein. Now, I found this interesting. I was kind of going through Charles Bernstein's biography and notes about his career. So he has done 20, 30 films he's scored, and he's scored a ton of TV, and he's scored a bunch of TV movies, like an obscene amount of TV movies. So the guy has a ton of experience in scores. Obviously, he's going to be most known for A Nightmare on Elm Street, but he did also, his very first Hollywood score was White Lightning in 1973, starring Burt Reynolds. Which he would then go on and do a lot more collaborations with that director, Joseph Sargent. He also did Gator in 1976, and then he did Cujo. He scored Cujo in 1983, which I thought was cool. April Fool's Day in 86, Deadly Friend in 1986.
Both those movies.
Yeah, so he was getting into some horror there. Then he did 1984 Nightmare on Elm Street. But actually, one quick note, which I thought was cool, Quentin Tarantino has included Bernstein's music from White Lightning and The Entity in the soundtracks of his films Kill Bill Volume 1 and Inglourious Bastards. Various hip-hop artists have sampled Bernstein's film scores, such as Logic, who has used his music from Love at First Bite for his song Vinyl Days, as well as Drake and 21 Savage, who have used choral samples of his music from Invasion of the B-Girls for their song Rich Flex. So he has continued to be an influence on popular culture and music throughout the year. So he's 80, still alive, lives in Minneapolis. So cool stuff about Charles Bernstein. If you didn't know, now you know. Thanks to the VHS Doom Podcast, motherfuckers. Oh, shit. Do you guys hear that? What the fuck is that? Mikey, do you hear that? Yep, I heard it. It's a little honk.
You heard that?
Well, I'm gonna.
There's also a fire. There's a fire thing on the apartment next door. Yeah.
Beep beep.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
I'm Scary Terry, bitch. I fucking love Scary Terry. Anyway. All right, so moving on, everyone. This movie was released on November the 9th of 1984 with a runtime of 84. With a runtime of 91 minutes, as we said, a budget of $1.1 million, and its box office was $57 million.
What a distribution! That must have been insane, especially for that movie. How big it was in the 80s,
right? And if you convert 80s dollars, that's over $100 million easy box office. It's a good box office. So,
and all the merchandise and all the TV show they had for it.
Yep,
that
absolutely.
show wasn't good though, but I liked it.
Good lord. Anyway, all right, so. Like I said, sorry guys, we are not going to have time today to jump into the whole plot of this movie. If you haven't watched it, we fucking told you to watch it last week, so start listening and doing what you're told, all right?
If you guys love the franchise, check out Never Sleep Again. It's a really good documentary about the whole franchise. It's like 4 hours long, I think.
Mikey, in this movie, what are some of your favorite scenes, your favorite brutalities?
Let me just bring up my notes. I know which one I can say first, obviously. It's the Johnny Depp sucked into the bed thing.
Dude, the bathtub?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. That scared me.
Oh, like, fuck. You're right. I don't take baths, and I don't think
I'm
I would
always afraid
after
of falling asleep in the bath.
Holy shit, bro. Yeah. God.
Okay, so I thought the prison cell death was, like, really creepy.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one, yeah. Yep.
And then, like, when their friend Tina gets murdered in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
She's like being pulled around everywhere and bleeding everywhere.
Oh my god, yeah, when she's like pulled up to the ceiling and
like dragged, yeah.
Right? Holy shit, yeah. Man, when he comes like the bed stuff, like, or the wall kind of like pushes out, like the bending of reality in these movies.
The phone. When Nancy tried using the phone, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all crazy. The school. So, like, when she's in school and she has to, like, burn her own arm to, like, wake herself up, you know what I mean?
I think they copied that scene from... No, wait, no, that was Halloween. They copied it in It Follows. It was one of the scenes that they, like, did, like a homage to it. I can't remember which one.
Oh, and in It Follows? That was a fucking wild movie. Holy shit.
I love that movie. Gets a lot of hate from people, believe it or not, but I love it.
Oh, does it? Yeah, that one was really intense. I like that one. That was good. Anyway... We are going to jump into production notes. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street contains many biographical elements from director Wes Craven's childhood. The film was inspired by several newspaper articles printed in the Los Angeles Times in the 1970s about Hmong refugees, which Hmong is going to be a group of people that are indigenous to East and Southeast Asia. In China, they're classified as a subgroup of the Miao people. So they were immigrants and refugees who are coming into the country. They fled to the United States because of war and genocide in Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. They suffered disturbing nightmares and what?
I said all America's fault.
Yeah. They suffered disturbing nightmares and refused to sleep. Some of the men died in their sleep soon after.
I've heard about this story.
Yeah. Medical authorities called the phenomenon Asian death syndrome. I know, right? The condition...
It's called PTSD.
Right, for real. The condition afflicted men between the ages... Well, this was the 50s, or 70s. It was the 70s. This condition afflicted men between the ages of 19 and 57 and was believed to be a sudden unexplained death syndrome or Brugada syndrome, or both. Craven has stated that it was a series of articles from the LA Times, 3 small articles about men from Southeast Asia who were from immigrant families and had died in the middle of nightmares. And the paper never correlated them, he said.
I have a joke. Freddy can't ever get me.
Why?
I drink way too much energy drinks.
Okay, Dad. Keep drinking your bowl semen. In the 1970s...
Glug, glug, glug.
What?
I said glug, 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 glug.
Glug, 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 glug. Yeah, gulp it down. It's probably thick as shit, bro. Okay, I'm going to continue. In the 1970s, there was a pop song called Dreamweaver by Gary Wright, which sealed the story for Craven, giving him not only an artistic setting to jump off from, but a synthesizer riff for the movie soundtrack. Craven has also stated that he drew some inspiration for the film from Eastern religions. Other sources attribute the inspiration for the film to a 1968 student film project that was made by Craven's students at Clarkson University. Was he plagiarizing? I don't know. The student film parodied contemporary horror films and was filmed along Elm Street in Potsdam, New York. I don't know. Anyway.
You're going to get so much hate for our show.
I don't believe that at all. But those sources do exist, and those articles do exist, but I'll point them out to you. That way you guys know. So from Mary Koenig, November 10th, 2008, from the History of Potsdam's A Nightmare on Elm Street. That was originally written on clarkonintegrator.com. Also, there was a secondary source, which was David Summerstein in November 23rd, 2010. The article, Nightmare on Elm Street House to Come Down, from the original, let's see here, North Country Public Radio. So there are 2 sources that have mentioned that it could have come from a student's project. Just throwing it out there. All right, continuing. The film's villain, Freddy Krueger, is drawn from Craven's early life. One night, a young Craven saw an elderly man walking on the sidewalk outside of the window of his home. The man stopped to glance at a startled Craven and walked off. So he's just being a dick to a little kid, which is hilarious to me. This served as the inspiration for Krueger. So the rest of his life, Craven was scared of old men walking through the dark. Initially, Freddy Krueger was intended to be a child molester, but Craven eventually characterized him as a child murderer to avoid being accused of exploiting a spate of highly publicized child molestation cases that occurred in California around the time of the film's production. On Freddy's nature, Craven states that, in a sense, Freddy stands for the worst of parenthood and adulthood, the dirty old man, the nasty father, and the adult who wants children to die rather than help them prosper. He's the boogeyman and the worst fear of children, the adult that's out to get them. He's a very primal figure, sort of like Kronos devouring his children. That evil, twisted, perverted father figure that wants to destroy and is able to get them at their most vulnerable moment, which is when they're asleep. All right, so by Craven's own account, his own adolescent experiences led him to the name Freddy Krueger. He had been bullied by a boy at child named Freddy Krueger, or Fred Krueger. Interesting. All right, just based on a real person. All right. Craven had done the same thing in his film The Last House on the Left in 1972, where the villain's name was shortened to Krug. Okay, all right. I didn't realize that. Huh. Man, that bully really fucked him up in the head. He was like, I'm going to make you famous forever. Craven chose
my household name.
right, for real. Holy shit! You shouldn't have bullied him. Don't bully. You never know where your victim is going to end up and what they're going to do to you. Craven chose to make Kruger's sweater red and green after reading an article in 1982 in the Scientific American that said that these two colors were the most clashing colors to the human retina. All right, cool. Craven strove to make Kruger different from other horror villains of the era. A lot of killers were wearing masks. Leatherface, Michael Myers, Jason, which he recalled in 2014. He said, quote, "I wanted my villain to have a mask, but be able to talk and taunt and threaten. So I thought of him being burned and scarred. He also felt the killer should use something other than a knife because it was too common. So, quote, I thought, how about a glove with steak knives? I gave the idea to our special effects guy, Jim Doyle. Ultimately, 2 models of the glove were built. The hero glove that was only used whenever anything needed to be cut, and the stunt glove that was less likely to cause injury. For a time, Craven had considered a sickle as the weapon of choice for the killer, but around the 3rd or 4th drafts of his script, the iconic glove had become his final choice, and what a great choice that was. Some notes on the writing of the script. So he began the screenplay for A Nightmare on Elm Street around 1981, and he when he had finished production on Swamp Thing in 1982. He pitched to several studios, but each one of them rejected it for different reasons. The first studio to show interest was Walt Disney Productions. What? Although they wanted Craven to tone down the content to make it suitable for children and preteens as a family-friendly PG-13 film.
Freddy in the MCU.
Fuck that. That would have been wild.
Instead of the MCU, we would have gotten
holy
shit. A slasher universe.
Are you telling me Freddy Krueger fucking killed Thanos? I knew it. I fucking knew it. Wow. However, Craven luckily declined Disney. Another studio Craven pitched to was Paramount Pictures, which passed on the project due to its similarity to Dreamscape from 1984. Universal Studios also passed Craven, who was in desperate personal and financial straits during this period, later framed the company's rejection letter on the wall of his office. Good on you, Wes Craven, which reads in its December 14th, 1982 print, "We have reviewed the script you have submitted, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Unfortunately, the script did not receive an enthusiastic enough response from us to go forward at this time. However, when you have a finished print, please get in touch, and we would be delighted to screen it for a possible negative pickup." Okay, wow. Dicks. I think their dicks are in the dick bin, actually. Finally, the fledgling and independent New Line Cinema Corporation, which had up to that point only distributed films, agreed to produce the film. What a great choice on their part. During the filming, New Line's distribution deal for the film fell through, and for 2 weeks it was unable to pay its cast and crew. Although New Line has gone on to make bigger and more profitable films, A Nightmare on Elm Street was its first commercial success, and the studio, as we've said before, is often referred to as the house that Freddy built. The New Line Cinema lacked the financial resources for the production themselves, and so had to turn to external financiers. They found 2 investors in England who each contributed 40% and 30% respectively. I think you need to be nicer to the Brits in the walls, Mikey. One of the producers...
Never.
I smell British people. They're funding the movies. One of the producers of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre contributed 10% of the money needed. And home video distributor Media Home Entertainment contributed 20% of the original budget. 4 weeks before production began, the English investor who had contributed 40% backed out. Okay, that's why we smell British people. Okay, all right, I take it back. But Media Home Entertainment added in another 40% to the budget. Among the backers were also Heron Communications and Smart Egg Pictures. According to producer Robert Shea, all of the film's original investors backed out at one point or another during pre-production. The original budget was $700,000, It ended up at $1.1 million. Half of the funding came from a Yugoslavian guy who had a girlfriend he wanted in movies. What the fuck?
Is that real? I've never heard of that part.
Bro, that is cited from Craig Marks and Rob Tenenbaum from Freddy Lives, An Oral History of a Nightmare on Elm Street from Vulture. So go check that out if you want to. You can Google it. All right. Moving on to casting, I think that this is going to be one of the best parts because we're really going to talk a lot about Robert Englund, who is the fucking man. Have you met him at any cons?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't.
The only conventions I've ever gone to is with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, for real?
I'm being serious, yeah.
Oh, I thought you'd been to a bunch of them.
No, never.
Huh, all right, cool. Well, you need to go to more.
We do.
Yeah, let's fucking go. Well, pick one. Pick one, I don't know, in the winter, and we'll make it fucking happen.
I was going to say next month.
Is there one next month? Nah.
CT Horror Fest.
Is there?
Yeah, it's right in Hartford.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, that's... we'll see about that. Let's pick something in between us. I don't know. Anyway, but the last time we planned something, the world got COVID, so I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. It's my fault. We were supposed to go to a hardcore festival.
Yeah, and then the world died. But whatever. It's okay. All right, continuing. So, casting notes. I'm going to read a quote from Wes Craven on the casting of Robert Englund, which came from... let's see here. Monsterland's Nightmares on Elm Street, the Freddy Krueger story. I looked at hundreds of guys and a lot of old men. Wow. I wanted somebody that was very agile. I learned from making films like The Hills Have Eyes that it wasn't the bigness of the villain that paid off. It was the evil that he was able to transmit as an actor. I wanted somebody who was an actor rather than a stuntman. Somebody who could convey a sense of evil and who was very enthusiastic about getting to an evil state. You really have to get malicious and malevolent, and a lot of actors just don't want to get there. Their heart isn't in it. You have to find somebody who's comfortable with that idea and isn't threatened by it. He knows it isn't him, but he can go there. Robert Englund filled the bill after we found him quite late in the casting process. His delight with it is that he had been playing nebbishes and good guys and was looking forward to playing somebody older and evil. Okay, so originally actor David Warner, who's an English actor, was originally cast to play Freddy. Makeup tests were done, but he had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts. Replacing him was difficult at first. Apparently, Kane Hodder, who would go on to play Jason Voorhees, was among those who Wes Craven talked with about the role of Freddy. According to Hodder, his quote is, "I had a meeting with Wes Craven about playing a character that he was developing called Freddy Krueger. At the time, Wes wasn't sure what kind of person he wanted for the role of Freddy, so I had as good a shot as anybody else. He was initially thinking of a big guy for the part, and he was also thinking of somebody who had real burn scars, but obviously he changed his whole line of thinking and went with Robert Englund, who's smaller. I would have loved to play the part, but I do think Wes made the right choice." End quote there. Hodder would, in a way, eventually play Freddy as the hand that grabs Jason's mask at the epilogue in Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday in 1993. Wes Craven explains that, quote, "I couldn't find an actor to play Freddy Krueger with the sense of ferocity that I was thinking, or that I was seeking. Craven recalled on the film's 30th anniversary, everyone was too quiet, too compassionate towards children." Well, good on you, Kane Hodder. Then Robert Englund auditioned. He wasn't as tall as I'd hoped, and he had a baby face. He had some baby fat on his face, but he impressed me with his willingness to go to the dark places in his mind. Robert understood Freddy. End quote. Englund has stated that Craven was indeed in search of a big, giant man for the part originally, but casting director Annette Benson had talked Craven into seeing him about the role after Englund had auditioned for National Lampoon's Class Reunion, which came out in 1982. Before Englund's agent at the time, Joe Rice, sent him to the casting office, Rice's friend Rhett Topham recommend Rhett Topham. What a fucking name. Rhetttopham. It's like Topher Grace's like alternate reality. I'm Rhett Topham.
He has purple suspenders and no hair.
It's me, Rhett Topham. Okay, Topham. I don't trust
Topham
you.
Grace.
Fucking Topham Grace.
Did you know Robert Englund in 1976 auditioned for Han Solo?
Really? Holy shit.
And Luke.
Oh my
and Luke
God.
too, yeah.
Oh, wow.
He suggested Mark Hamill to play the role.
Really? What a
That's
good
what it says,
guy.
yeah.
Huh, how about
I had
that?
some notes, sorry.
No, you're fine. I love that. Oh, man, I love learning new stuff. I really do.
Who's a nice guy? Kane Hodder.
Kane Hodder's super fucking nice. Yes. All right. So jumping back into this. So Rice's friend, Rhett Topham, which I can't get past quite, recommended England to act, quote, rat-like and, quote, weasel-like, adding that when we read about abusers and molesters in the newspaper, they're not big, hulking men, but they're weasels. All right, Rhett. Okay. I thought that he should go in and play it like that, and it worked. Okay, Topham. Topham Grace. England had darkened his lower eyelids with cigarette ash on his way to the audition. And
that's what I would do when I went into work when we used to work together.
No wonder you scared all the little high school girls. Mikey would put cigarettes out on his hands and then ash his eyes. So after he had, like Mikey, darked his eyes with cigarette ash and slicked his hair back, he said, "I look strange." I sat there.
I said the same thing.
I look strange. Huh. I sat there and listened to Wes talk. He was tall and preppy. I posed a bit like Klaus Kinski, who is...
one of the most ridiculous actors of all time.
Ridiculous actors ever, and he's been in over 130 film roles.
And he's also a terrible person to his kids.
Yeah, well, anyway.
He's dead now, though.
Yeah, and that was the audition, he said later. I took the part because it was the only project that fit the schedule during the hiatus between the V miniseries and series.
Oh, I love that show. You like that show?
I don't know that. Let's see.
Me and my dad would watch it all the time.
Oh, reptilian humanoids disguised as human beings?
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that.
He's in it. Mm-hmm. He's like one of the reptilians.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that was very important. I think that we can talk a little bit about Glenn, because it is Johnny Depp's first, first role as well. So he was another unknown when he was cast, initially accompanying his friend who was Jackie Earle Haley, who went on to play Freddy in the 2010 remake to
no fucking way.
Audition. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so he was
That's
hanging out.
Hilarious. What?
Right, with Haley, and they were going to an audition. According to Depp, the role of Glenn was originally written as a big blonde beach jock football player guy, far from his own appearance. Topher Grace. But Wes Craven's daughters picked Depp's headshot from the set he had showed them. Okay, interesting. He was doing a little bit of like crowdsourcing for that. Depp got his own nod in a cameo role in Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare as a man on TV, and later in the Freddy vs. Jason intro in clips from earlier films. Charlie Sheen was considered for the role, but allegedly wanted too much money. Annette Benson states that they...
tiger's blood.
Yeah, he wanted more fucking coke, bro. This money is not enough. I need 77 pounds of cocaine, and this will only get me 37.
On A Dab of Death, we were talking about Ginger Dead Man, yeah. And Jimmy's like, how did they get Gary Busey? I'm like, a shit ton of cocaine.
All right, bro, for real. Have you seen that thing going around TikTok, which is like fake Gary Busey, and he's like, buttered sausages?
Yes.
The thing is, it's the buttered sausage. I don't eat jam. I eat honey. Stupid. Anyway, Okay, so Annette Benson states that they did, in fact, offer the part to Sheen, but he passed on it due to his agent demanding twice the weekly wage of $1,142 for Sheen, which New Line Cinema did not consider themselves to have the budget for. Sheen himself objects to the sentiment that he turned down the role for the reason of money, saying, quote, "I didn't price myself out of it because I didn't get greedy until years later. That came much later. I just didn't get it, and I've never been more wrong about interpreting a script. I just didn't get it completely, but I still took a meeting with Wes, and when I met him, I said, look, with all due respect, and as a fan of your talents, I just don't see this guy wearing a funny hat with a rotted face and a striped sweater and a bunch of clacky fingers. I just don't see this catching on."
This is the second time he's been wrong about a movie.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're glad that
Guinea pig in this.
Charlie Sheen didn't write Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. Lastly here, so Mark Patton, who would later be cast as Jesse Walsh in the sequel, auditioned for the role of Glenn Lance and claimed that the auditioners had been winnowed down to him and Johnny Depp before Depp got the role. Holy shit. Oh, God. Other actors like John Cusack, Brad Pitt, Kiefer Sutherland, Nick Cage, and C. Thomas Howell have been mentioned over the years, but Annette Benson has failed to definitely recall those actors as having been among the auditioners. Though Cage had probably not auditioned for A Nightmare on Elm Street, he was in fact involved in introducing Johnny Depp to acting through Cage's own agent, who introduced Benson to him, resulting in an audition for the film. All right. And that's how Johnny Depp came to get into A Nightmare on Elm Street and into the rest of his career, thanks to a couple cool people, Jack Earl Haley and, of course, Nicolas fucking Cage. All right. Moving on, unless, Mikey, you have any notes at this point. Hey, Rick Moranis, your daddy Hugh Janus is calling you.
I didn't realize it was muted, and I was talking this whole fucking time. And I was looking at you, I'm like, why is it muted?
I don't know. Any notes from you before we move on?
Yeah. You said Brad Pitt. I was just going to say, like, my favorite movie, like a horror movie with him was Cutting Class from 1986, or 89. Okay. It was a slasher movie.
Nice. Honestly, I did not know Brad Pitt had ever been in a slasher, so.
Cutting Class, 1989.
Cutting Class, 1989. Now you know it, now I know it.
Put it on Blu-ray.
Chop. Cool. All right, so let's talk about some filming notes. So principal photography began in June of 1984 and lasted a total of 32 days, which it's not very long. That seems pretty fast. In and around Los Angeles, California. The high school that the protagonists attend was filmed at John Marshall High School, where many other productions such as Grease and Pretty in Pink have been filmed. The fictional street address of Nancy's house in the film is 1428 Elm Street. In real life, this house is a private home located in Los Angeles at 1428 North Genesee Avenue. The Lance's family home was at 1419 North Genesee Avenue on the other side of the road. The boiler room scenes and police station interior were shot in the Lincoln Heights jail, which has been closed since 1965, while the exterior used for the police station was Cahuenga Branch Library. Rod's burial was filmed at Evergreen Cemetery. The American Jewish University on 15600 Mulholland Drive was used for the Katya Institute for the Study of Sleep Disorders, which was visited by Marge and Nancy. During production, over 500 gallons of fake blood were used for special effects production. Holy shit, 500 gallons. That's wild.
That's why studios now stick to like CGI because they don't want to pay.
They're like, that's a fucking mess. How many gallons was Evil Dead? It was a lot for a small production. It was a lot. So anyway, for the blood geyser sequence, the filmmakers used the same revolving room set that was used for Tina's death. While filming the scenes, the cameraman and Craven himself were mounted in fixed seats taken from a Datsun B210 car while the set rotated around them. The film crew inverted the set and attached the camera so that it looked like the room was right side up, and then they poured the red water into the room. They used dyed water because the special effects blood did not have the right look for a geyser. During filming of the scene, the red water poured out in an unexpected way and caused the rotating room to spin. Much of the water spilled out of the bedroom window, covering Craven and Langenkamp. Earth's gravity was also used to film another take for the TV version in which a skeleton shoots out from the hollowed-out bed and smashes into the ceiling. More work was done for Freddy's boiler room than made it into the film. The crew constructed a whole sleeping place for Freddy, showing that he was quite a hobo, an outcast and reject from society, living and sleeping where he worked, and surrounding himself with naked Barbie dolls and other things as a showcase of his fantasies and perversions. This place was supposed to be where he forged his glove and abducted and murdered his victims. The scene where Nancy is attacked by Krueger in her bathtub was accomplished with a special bottomless tub. The tub was put in a bathroom set that was built over a swimming pool. During the underwater sequence, Heather Langenkamp was replaced with a stunt woman. The melting staircase in Nancy's dream was Robert Shea's idea based on his own nightmares. Wild, okay. It was created using pancake mix. The film's special effects artist Jim Doyle portrayed Freddy on the scene where his face and hands that stretch through the wall and reach out for Nancy when she dreams. The wall was built by Doyle out of spandex, so pretty cool. That's good to know. It's always nice when like an effects artist gets to actually be a part of the film, like visually, other than what they're making. In the scene where Freddy walks through the prison bars to threaten Rod, as seen by Nancy, Wes Craven explains that we took triangulations of the camera so we knew exactly the height of it from the floor and the angle towards the point where the killer was going to walk through, and then we put the camera again at that exact height and walked the actor through that space. Then those two images were married, and a rotoscope artist went through and matted out the bars so it appeared that they were going straight through his body. So, Jesus Garcia, who was cast as Rod and credited as Nick Corey, says that the production was difficult for him. He was dealing with depression due to his recent homelessness by snorting heroin in the bathroom between takes. Holy shit. In 2014, he revealed that he was high on heroin during the scene with Langenkamp in the jail cell. His eyes were watery, and they weren't focused, Langenkamp said. I thought, wow, he's giving the best performance of his life. Holy shit, bro.
I have a cast note if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead. What you got?
The father, who played the father, John Saxon, he's been in so many amazing movies like Enter the Dragon, Argento's Tenebrae, a lot of spaghetti westerns, a lot of Polizio Tecci movies too.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, just like a lot of Italian stuff too.
Okay, cool. Good note,
also,
man.
Yeah. Also, Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee.
Love it. Okay, so continuing, following Tina's death, Nancy repeatedly dreams of an animated corpse of Tina in a translucent body bag. During the scene in which Freddy kills Rod in the prison cell, Nancy witnesses a centipede crawl out of Tina's mouth. The filmmakers initially attempted to achieve this effect by having Weiss force a rubber centipede out of her mouth. The effect seen in the final film was accomplished by having an actual centipede crawl out of the mouth of a clay sculpture, right, of Weiss's likeness, which was sculpted by David B. Miller. During filming, the centipede was temporarily lost on set before being found again. Neat. Okay. All right. So about halfway through the film, when Nancy was trying to stay awake, a scene from Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead appears on the television. We called this out in our Evil Dead episode, which was a few episodes ago. If you haven't listened to it, go check that out. Craven decided to include the scene because Raimi had featured a Hills Have Eyes scene, poster in The Evil Dead. So it's kind of like a, hey, thanks. In return, Raimi then featured a Freddy Krueger glove in the workshed scene of Evil Dead 2, and later in Ash vs. Evil Dead. So pretty cool stuff. All right, Sean Cunningham, whom Wes Craven had previously worked with while filming The Last House on the Left in 1972, helped Craven at the end of the shooting, heading the second film unit during the filming of some of Nancy's dream scenes.
That's so funny. The creator of Friday the 13th was helping with the movie.
Right? Isn't that wild? Craven originally planned for the film to have more of an evocative ending, where Nancy kills Krueger by ceasing to believe in him and then awakens to discover that everything that happened in the film was an elongated nightmare. However, New Line leader Robert Shea demanded a twist ending in which Krueger disappears and all seems to have been a dream, only for the audience to discover that it was a dream within a dream within a dream. Inception. The original ending of the script has Nancy come out of the door. It's an unusually cloudy and foggy day. A car pulls up with her dead friends in it. She's startled. She goes out. She gets in the car wondering what the hell is going on. They drive off into the fog, with the mother left standing on the doorstep, and that's it. It was very brief and suggestive that maybe life is a sort of dream in itself.
Freddy kills her.
Right. Shea wanted Freddy Krueger to be driving the car and have the kids screaming. That
would have been great.
Right. It all became very negative. I felt a philosophical tension to my ending. Shea said, "That's so 60s. It's stupid." I refuse to have Freddy in the driver's seat.
Movie.
What?
I feel like it would be better with like newer Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
Like when he's like more funny.
Yeah, right. When things were more funny and not so like serious in the beginning. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so he said, I refuse to have Freddy in the driver's seat, and we thought up about 5 different endings. The one we used with Freddy pulling the mother through the doorway amused us all so much that we could not use it. Craven explains that the effect of the mentioned fog did not work out for the team, and they had to film without it. There were around 20 people with fog machines, but the breeze at the time was too much, and the fog was gone before they had the opportunity to film the intended foggy scene. Though several variants of an end scene were considered and filmed, Heather Langenkamp states that there was always the sense that Freddy was in the car. While according to Sarah Risher, it was always Wes's idea to plan the little girl's jumping rope. Both had a happy ending.
Freddy's coming for you.
Some notes on Freddy's theme song. So the lyrics for Freddy's theme song were sung by the Jump Rope Children throughout the series, and based on the 1-2 Buckle My Shoe, right? So it was already written and included in the script when Bernstein started writing the soundtrack.
So creepy every time you hear it.
Yeah. While the melody for it was not set by Bernstein, but by Heather Langenkamp's boyfriend and soon-to-be husband at the time, Alan Pasqua, who was a musician himself. Interesting. Bernstein integrated Pasqua's contribution to the soundtrack as he saw fit. One of the 3 girls who recorded the vocal part of the theme was Robert Shea's then 14-year-old daughter. So, pretty cool. Okay, here. Let's see here. So, just some release notes. So, there were some censorship issues, as always. Let's talk about our favorite, the MPAA. So when it was submitted to the MPAA...
Bag of dicks,
fuck the MPAA! I think most of the dicks on our dick box come from MPAA members. And,
no, we're going to be mailing them to the MPAA.
Oh, okay.
That's just the bin we put them in before shipping.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, yeah.
In the back of our VHS store, we have a penis selling industry.
Oh, yeah, you got to keep me up to date on the admin side, I guess. You keep track of the paperwork. So
it's moldypenis.com.
Moldypenis.com. They require 2 cuts. The next line is, they required 2 cuts to grant it an R rating. The theatrical version was released with an R rating and 13 seconds of cuts. In the United Kingdom, the film was released theatrically and on home video uncut. The Australian theatrical release was edited to an M rating, but the VHS home video was released uncut in 1985 with an Australian R. The uncut version would not see a release in the United States until 1996 when it was released on Elite Entertainment's Laserdisc. All DVD, digital, and Blu-ray releases use the R-rated theatrical version. The uncut version has yet to be released on a digital format, though 6 seconds were restored for home video, and a further 2 seconds for current releases. Have you seen the Elite Entertainment Laserdisc or like a foreign version uncut? I haven't.
I don't know. I don't think I don't know. I'm not
Unless
sure.
that's on Tubi.
I have the old DVD box set.
Okay.
Might be.
Yeah, you might just have the R version then.
Oh, that Tubi is where I found that Nazi exploitation documentary.
Oh yeah, nice. Tubi's got fucking everything. Hey, Tubi, sponsor us. All right. So let's see here. Just some home media notes. We always talk about different versions, right? So the film was first introduced to home video by Media Home Entertainment in '85, and then eventually it was released on Laserdisc. Holy shit, goddamn. Okay, it has since been released on DVD, first in 1999 in the U.S. as a part of the Nightmare on Elm Street collection box set, which I think you just said then, right?
I think I have the later one.
Do you? Okay. So that had, and once again in a restored Infinifilm special edition in 2006, which contained various special features with contributions from Wes Craven, Heather Langenkamp, John Saxon, and the director of photography. The special edition consisted of 2 DVDs, one with the film picture and sound restored to Dolby, another DVD with special features, along with the restored version of the film DVD. One also had 2 commentaries and other nightmares from the film's sequels. It also included additional extended or alternate scenes of the film, such as one scene where Marge reveals to Nancy that she had another sibling who was killed by Freddy. Wow. These unused clips and scenes were not included or added to the DVD film, but could be viewed separately on the DVD menus. In April 13th of 2010, the film was released on Blu-ray by Warner Home Video with all of the same extras from the 2006 special edition. A DVD box set containing all of the films up to that point was released on the same day. So that seems to be all of the releases up through today. Okay, so a few critical response notes. All right, so Kim Newman at the time wrote in the Monthly Film Bulletin that A Nightmare on Elm Street was closer to a Stephen King adaptation with its small-town setting and invented monster myth. Newman concluded that the film found Craven emerging from his recent career slump with Swamp Thing, Hills Have Eyes 2, and Invitation to Hell, with a fine, perhaps definitive boogeyman to back him up. And that the film was a superior example of an overworked genre. Okay, it's like good and bad. Like that review is like, okay, Kim, you probably don't have a penis to put in the box anyway, but we're not going to try to take it. So Paul Anastasio of the Washington Post praised the film, stating that for such a low-budget movie, Nightmare on Elm Street is extraordinarily polished. The script is consistently witty. The camera work by cinematographer Jacques Heitken is crisp and expressive. Okay, cool. The review noted that the genre has built-in limitations, but Craven faces the challenges admirably. In modern reviews, don't really care about that. But what I do care about is right here. The film does have a 95% approval rating on the review aggregator site, RottenPenis.com, home of rotten penises and reviews of penis-like films. RottenPenis.com, where the critics review without their penises. It has an average rating of 7.8 out of 10. With the site's consensus saying Wes Craven's intelligent premise combined with the horrifying visual appearance of Freddy Krueger still causes nightmares to this day. All right, I'll take it. That's all I needed was RottenPenis.com's review. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to close this out with just a couple more notes. So some literature notes. So a joint novelization of the 1984 film and the sequels, Freddy's Revenge and Dream Warriors, was released in 1987, written by Jeffrey Cooper. An 8-part comic book adaptation in 3D was commissioned in 1989 to be published by Blackthorn Publishing and were to be written by Andy Mangels. These plans fell apart due to the collapse and bankruptcy of said publisher throughout the later 89 and 1990. Some lost concept art was finished of this planned comic book adaptation before the folding of Blackthorn. Mangles explains that Blackthorn had the 3D rights, but they went bankrupt after I had written 3 issues. One had been penciled, and none had been published. A 3D comic book adaptation written by Mangles would eventually be released of the 5th sequel, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, on Innovation Publishing. Cinematic derivatives of A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984, includes the 2 separate Bollywood horror films, Cooney Murda from 1989, which I have not ever seen, neither of these actually, and Makal.
I've heard of Makal. Massacre Video sells a Blu-ray of it.
Okay.
I'm going to get it soon. I've also seen the ripoff. Which one was it? It was The Slayer. Have you ever heard of that one?
No.
Another dream slasher.
Oh, interesting.
And Bad Dreams is another one we've talked about before.
Yeah, for sure. It also looks like there's an Indonesian horror film called Satan's Blood, which came out in 1986, which is very heavily borrowing of the same themes.
Also, the Mexican slasher movie Don't Panic.
Okay. And of course, they have to mention, and this is hilarious, A Wet Dream on Elm Street from 2011, an American pornographic parody.
That doesn't even make any sense, though.
I don't know, bro. But the cover is literally nearly the same as the cover of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I've seen it.
Holy shit.
I've seen that cover before.
Anyway, if you were wondering, that stars... I don't know, but it's directed by Leroy. I'm not clicking on it. I'm not getting in trouble.
It's directed by Leroy. Shout out to Leroy.
Leroy Jenkins.
I'm firing my laser.
Holy shit. Okay, last notes, and then we're jumping out.
Millennials.
Holy shit, do you hear that? No, I don't think it's in our universe. I think it's in our alternate dimension, our dream universe. What are you dreaming about right now, Mikey? Definitely A Wet Dream on Elm Street 2011. That's what Mikey's dreaming about.
This is Hugh, Mike's out.
Hugh? Oh, hey, Hugh.
Hi. I talk like this normally.
Are you? Oh, you're communicating in your dream state because you're not controlled by a deadite right now because we're in the dream world.
I have powers, bitch.
You have powers?
Yeah.
What are your powers?
This.
Thanks, Hugh. Back in the closet, even in the dream world, motherfucker. Gobble, gobble. All right. So, in 2010, a remake was released, also titled A Nightmare on Elm Street, starring Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy Krueger. The film was produced by Michael Bay. Blah. Garbage. Directed by Samuel Bayer. Oh, God. And written by the team of Wesley Strick and Eric Heiserer. The film was intended as a reboot to the franchise, but plans for a sequel never came to fruition after the film mostly received negative reviews, despite it being a financial success. So
it's because it's the name.
Right. They probably did the right thing. Everybody went and saw it and was disappointed, so why not? You probably don't want to fuck that up and make a second one right away, and then everybody
I will say Freddy
that.
vs. Jason is a better movie than that.
Right. But, last note here. On August 7th of 2015, it was reported that New Line Cinema was developing a second remake with Orphan writer David Leslie Johnson. England...
I do like The Orphan.
England expressed interest in returning to the series in a cameo role, at least. Leslie Johnson later added that the work is in limbo due to the success of the Conjuring universe, saying that nothing is percolating just yet, but everybody wants to see Freddy again, I think, so it's inevitable at some point. So, sometime in the future, I mean, that was 2015, almost a decade ago, but you never know.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah. It's going to get picked up again sometime soon. So that takes us out of our deep dive into one of the biggest American slasher films of all time, A Nightmare on Elm Street, which spurred a massive franchise and one of the, most iconic villains, Freddy Krueger. So thanks for joining us for that. Thanks for coming into this very, very scary dream universe with us. But now I'm going to have to wake you up. So if you're ready, I'm going to jump out into the real world real quick, and I'm going to slap the shit out of you. All right, ready? 1, 2. Hey, welcome back, everybody. All right, so I know that was a little bit of a freaky-deaky ride, but we're going to go ahead. We're going to start getting you checked out today and get you the fuck out of here because I'm real kind of weirded out. That goo, Mikey's arm is still off. He's kind of bleeding. He's kind of dripping green ooze. I don't know, but let's get the fuck out of here. So this week, we are going to send you home with a doozy list of films. All right, so let's get you all the fuck out of here. We got a couple things left to do. We're going to get you your movies.
I got to get home. My son's waking up.
Don't forget your candy, your popcorn, your ring pops, and your soda pops, and your beers. Yeah, we sell beer
The store's
now.
only open one Tuesday a month, or a week, I mean. Every Tuesday we're open.
Bro, all of that shit is probably going to expire. So fucking buy the candies. All right, so we're sending you home with quite the list of movies today. First on the list is going to be Santa Sangre from 1989 by Alejandro Jodorowsky. Did I say that right? Jodorowsky? Jodorowsky. Fucking wild trip of a ride. I hope if you guys...
You see Holy Mountain now.
Holy shit, yeah, I will. I'll watch that next.
It's another one of his mind, I don't even know.
Jesus, yeah.
Exploders?
It was a mind fuck. It was a mind fuck for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, next you're going home with a Fascism on a Thread from 2019 documentary by Naomi Holwell. You're going with Ace High from 1968 by Giuseppe Calisi. Mr. Vampire 1985 by Ricky Lau. For the kids, we're actually going to send you home with a recommendation that we received on Twitter from one of our coolest listeners, Private Troy. Troy's the fucking man. So this week's kid movie is going to be Surf Ninjas from 1993 by Neil Israel. Real quick little synopsis on Surf Ninjas. Brothers Johnny and Adam are coasting through a fun surfer existence in Los Angeles when they are suddenly accosted by a band of ninjas. A mysterious warrior comes to their aid, later telling the brothers that they are the royal heirs to the throne of Patsuan, an embattled island under the rule of tyrannical leader, who's actually Leslie Nielsen. After discovering their untapped ninja skills, Johnny and Adam agree to travel to Patsuan to overthrow the current monarchy. And actually, Rob Schneider's in that too, which is pretty funny. So you're going to have a fun time watching that with the kids. Surf Ninjas from 1993. And lastly, what you're going home with is next week's movie. So, Mikey, what is next week's movie?
The best Western of all time. The good, the bad, the ugly.
The good.
Sergio Leone.
The Bag, and The Ugly from 1966 by Sergio Leone. So that's going to be next week's feature.
The best theme ever to any movie, too.
Bro. Oh, I can't wait. We've never done a Western on this show, so we're kind of branching out and doing something new. Mikey got a new haul of Westerns and spaghetti Westerns, I guess.
Yes.
So we're going to dive into that for next week, and I'm super excited about that.
I am a big Western fan because of my grandpa.
Yeah, I am too, honestly. I love Westerns. I really do. So this is going to be a fun week next week for us.
The best ones were from Italy, I think.
Yeah, I think the spaghetti Westerns are the shit. So last segment. Well, actually, all right. Come on, pay me. All right, cool. Last thing before y'all leave, I'm going to go into our very last segment of the day, which is called Mike GPT. So every week now, I'm reading Mike's chat. We're going to see where Mike's brain is at throughout the show while Dylan's talking too much. Okay. Pinche. Pinche, okay. David Winterstein, the original Penis Radio. Scabby Man once told me, if you don't swallow the scabs, you won't know the knowledge of the sloppy man. Wombat Autopsy Massacre out of 8:30. What? Okay. Out of the night with the sandwich of my dreams, I am Dylan, and this is my story. The children, they wait for the scabbus. Young Sothloth in his store forever. Melty grilled cheese scabs. Mike had pulled chicken last night, and it might have been human. Freddy got the scabs, and he's one of our brethren. And lastly, Mikey says, penis, 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 penis. Thank you.
Where did I say that?
Penis.
I didn't say that.
Oh, well, I mean, it's in the chat. I just read what you say.
Wait, where's it in the chat?
It's right here, and this is the last thing. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, as usual. We greatly appreciate you guys. You are the best listeners in the entire world, and you're hanging out at the coolest place that you could ever hang out at, which is the VHS rental store and podcast. Mikey's got to go. I got to go. Go subscribe and give us a follow everywhere that you can, and we appreciate you guys. Any final words?
Check the chat.
Check the chat. I don't have anything new. Let's see. 694208008S. Is that your password to something?
I meant to do a 5 for it. It's supposed to say 69420 boobs. I'm a fucking child. I'm sorry.
694208008S. 60. It's like 3104558. Type that on a calculator and turn it around. You know.
Let's say hello,
asshole.
Oh,
dude. Anyway, all right. Well, we appreciate you all. Thanks for sticking with us for 20 episodes, one whole season, and now 21. Welcome to season 2, motherfuckers. Get ready to get ripped. Yep. All right. Talk to you guys later. Peace.
Peace.
Welcome to your nightmare, bitch.
Oh, here we go. Looks like some sort of legally safe knockoff of an 80s horror character with miniature swords for fingers instead of knives.
I'm Scary Terry. You can run, but you can't hide, bitch.